I'm joined by someone to help us make sense of the development in Edo State right now, particularly as it has to do with internal politics. Because if we don't get it right, apparently within political parties and their ranks, there's a near impossibility that Nigeria will get it right within the structure of governance. I'm joined by Abdul Wahab Ekehide. He's a public affairs analyst. Thank you, Abdul Wahab, for making out time this Monday morning to be with us on Global Morning.
Thank you, and good morning, Nigerians.
It turns out we're going to your state, your home state, to talk about events right there. But let's begin with what we have come to find with how political parties work. For example, in Zamfara, we had seen how that a particular party was not even on the ballot because of internal wrangling. We've seen that happen in a few other states across this country. We've seen the damage that internal conflict within political parties has done to the fabrics of the polity as we know it, and even governance ultimately. What's your sense of what is happening in Edo State right now, particularly as it has to do with the PDP?
What is happening in Edo State? First of all, before I start again, let me say good morning, Nigerians. And coincidentally, I am also a convener of the Edo Concerned Patriots. So I'm mostly concerned about what's happening in Edo State. And I must tell you that what is happening is disregard of eternal democracy within the political party. In this case, the PDP. You see, every political party has set rules for themselves. And that rules is embedded in the constitution of every political party. And to strengthen the rules, the Electoral Act also gives some bites or support to what you have in your party. And what it means is that political parties must learn to obey and then respect the rules they set for themselves. Because if you set rules for yourself and you don't obey it, then what you are simply calling for is disunity, chaos, and anarchy. And that's what we are experiencing in the PDP in Edo State as we speak. You see, the democracy is beautiful. And why do they call it democracy? Because it is participatory. It needs to involve everybody who is 18 and above. Right. And in terms of political party, every card-carrying member of your party should have a fair and a level playing ground when it comes to internal elections like primary elections. You know, parties set up rules to say, okay, before we get to primary, we need to elect delegates because the new electoral act has given such powers that you need to elect delegates that will now elect the candidate, or you do a direct primaries. Now, in the case of PDP, they did say, okay, we want to do delegate elections, and they have gone into, and they did. Unfortunately, because of internal wrangling, maybe because the man in charge does not like the faces of some delegates. And
by the man in charge, we're referring to who now?
I'm referring to the governor of the state.
The incumbent governor?
Yes, Governor Godwin Obaseki. He is in charge, and he already has somebody he wants to emerge. And you say about 300 and something delegates are not going to work for you. What do? Exclude them. That's what happens. And so at the point of exclusion, those people also went to court. Even before the primaries, they were already in court to say, no, we were wrongfully, they should, in fact, before the primary, they went to court to say we should not be excluded. And
before the primary?
Yes, before the primary. And the court, there was no answer Godalo, there was no primary. The court said, no, hold it on. Don't proceed without these people. They went ahead and they proceeded.
Against the court order?
Yeah, against the court order. And today, the court has given judgment to say, no, that process, what you did was wrong. And then the consequence, if the consequential effect is that you cannot build something or nothing. If the process that brought you up is faulty and they say the court says a nullity, of course you are standing in the air. That's exactly what
I'm not a lawyer. Last I checked, I didn't find in your profile that you are a lawyer either.
I'm not a lawyer.
But I'm concerned now because it appears you and I on this program this morning are making a big deal out of nothing, because the PDP in Edo State, for the most part, is saying that there's no issue here, that the court order does not say, it does not nullify the candidature of Aso Egodalo. As a matter of fact, Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki, cousins of the incumbent governor, who happens to be a member of the PDP, very active in the campaign of Aso Egodalo, has come out to say that, look, the PDP should not waste its time going to appeal court. There's nothing to appeal because the court order does not clearly say that Asue Ighodalo cannot stand as the candidate of the PDP. Are you saying the PDP in Edo State, or maybe even on a national level, is living in denial because the governor of Adamawa State, Governor Fintri, has said that this is a setback for the party? So where do you stand?
Now, that's the problem. That's the question you should ask yourself. If, for instance, the judgment of the court has no consequence, should you bother to appeal? That's the first question. But the chairman of the campaign council, the National Campaign Council, the governor of Adamawa said this is a setback and they must appeal. As I speak to you, they are already preparing for appeal. No, so if the judgment is of no consequence, do you really need to appeal? Of course, no. If you give a judgment that I know that will not affect me in any way, why should I appeal it? Now they are going to on appeal. Why are they going on appeal if it has no consequence? It means that it has consequence. That is because even as a layman, we go to court, we hear cases. I've read law books. I also heard that if, for instance, I own a piece of land and somebody else comes to build on it, and then I went to court, maybe even after 10 years I go to court. The court, when court gives me judgment that I'm the owner of the land, whatever is on the land belongs to me.
Right.
So that's exactly where we are. People, you said they are supposed to be your delegates. Now, where did you now get the delegates? Now, you made up the number of delegates. You excluded 381 delegates. But the delegates that were supposed to vote are still complete. So where did you, after you have already done delegate election and persons have emerged, where did you now get the 381 delegates to fill in the gap to now elect the governor and the candidate? Now the court is saying, no, these people were unlawfully excluded. They need to be participate in that election. They are the rightful delegates. Now, so you have manufactured delegates who elected you. It means that you have wrong people electing you who were not delegates. It means that that election cannot hold. Where you have about 500 and something delegates, all in the number, and 380 something delegates are excluded. It means that there is you are standing on the air. That's exactly what it means. So PDP should rightly advise them. But I'm not surprised. You know why? Because in politics is a dangerous game. And it's dynamic. And what they do is to still give hope to their followers, to say, no, this thing has no effect, but they are going on.
Who's in danger here now? Because you say politics is a dangerous game. Is it Governor Obaseki, Dr. Asue Ighodalo, the PDP in Edo State, or all three of them?
Let me tell you, three of them are in danger. All of them. Obaseki number 1, Ighodalo number 2, and the PDP as a party number 3. Because this problem you have in the PDP that has even led to what we are having is caused by Obaseki. He was a complete stranger. He came running and begging and crying and kneeling down to have the PDP ticket when he ran out of APC. And they gave him the ticket. Now, the people that gave you the ticket, you have also sidelined them in all activities of the party and your government. So what do you expect? It's a fight. It's an internal fight. It's not a fight between APC and PDP. It is PDP versus PDP. It is PDP versus... So if you check, you see that the legacy party, those who were in the PDP before Obaseki came, those are the people that Obaseki is fighting with. And so the house is clearly divided into pieces. There are even more than 4 factions within the PDP in Edo State. As we speak
aside Obaseki's faction and Danobi's faction, do you have other factions?
Are you not aware of the same, what's his name, the former deputy governor, Philip Schreiber? Are you not also
who is now romancing the APC, by the way?
Yes, it's romancing. Yes, of course. He has no choice. And then are you not also see the fact of Aslem Ojezua, who was the APC state chairman, who followed Obaseki to the PDP, and who also was a contestant in this primary election, who has also gone to court. So there are different factions. Different people are complaining. People are not happy. And then, and to crown it up, the dividend of democracy is not being fed in Edo State under this administration
of Governor Obaseki.
Governor Obaseki. So he cannot produce. He cannot. And then in 2020, Obaseki told Edo people that no man is God. That was the mantra of his campaign. And what was he saying there? He said that Adams Oshomole wanted to play God.
No, he was saying, I don't know be Lagos.
No, he used I don't know be Lagos. And he also used, the major one was that no man was God. No man is God. That Adams was trying to play God. He wants to impose a candidate, a governor on Edo State. And Edo people, because of sentiment, they followed him. And today, the same man who said no man is God is playing God. He wants to bring his God's son, who was not even a card-carrying member of the PDP in the first place. He only joined right now. And who was never around. And then he now also single-handedly brought in his own SSG, who left with him from APC to PDP, to Osaodeoge as the running mate, which means all the legacy people you met in the PDP, they don't have a stake, they don't have a say. If you had said, okay, bring us where, then bring one of the legacy party to say be deputy, that would have been understandable. You completely just kept them aside, and that is the fight. And I tell you, even if PDP have a candidate, I tell you, the fight, the eternal fight within them will make them not go anywhere.
But is it correct or even fair to say, I mean, I hear people refer to Dr. Asuo Ighodalo as a stranger. For a man, I mean, I watched his interview time and again where he has said that even as a young boy, he played in the rain at New Benin. I mean, for those who know Benin very well, New Benin is a central part of the city.
Yes.
And then he has talked about how that even his hometown in Eboyini, he has a foundation there in memory of his late parents that he still funds along with his siblings. And then he has talked about how that he has worked with the government for several years. I mean, under the leadership of Governor Godwin Obaseki. Is that person a stranger?
Yes. You know how you know a stranger. A stranger is that man who do not come home when he's needed.
Was there a time he was needed, he didn't show?
Yeah, that's what listen now. You know, the greatest problem the Edo Central has always have in Edo State is water. They lack water. It's a challenge, even as we speak.
Even for the university community of Okuma.
There is no water. That's the challenge. And for a man of his capacity and capability, who has held so many positions, he could not provide water for his people. He could not, you know, even influence. He's working with government. He has not influenced any major development, even to his village, not to talk of the whole Edo Central. Now, he is a stranger because, first, if you check, he does not even understand his language. That's number one. Secondly, he is not in tune with the happenings of the people in there. If he comes to Edo State, he's in Benin. Once he finishes for Benin, he flies back. He doesn't go to his village. It is because of election that he's going back to village to mingle with his people. Is that the kind of governor you want? A governor that is a capitalist? They are only interested in building their estate. They are capitalists in nature. And they all believe in profiteering. They don't believe in generosity, in philanthropy. No, they don't. If he believes in philanthropy, a lot of his people would have benefited. As we speak, he was chairman of Sterling Bank. There is no one single Sterling Bank branch in the whole of his local government. Not one. At least as chairman of Sterling Bank, he should influence that one branch should be in his local government, so that at least one or two of his people should be employed there. Some of them read accounting, some read banking and finance. They are there, should be employed in that branch. But there is no bank.
But if he has been able to influence such an opportunity for his people, he may not know, because he's not necessarily going to come to the public to make a statement of it.
But he's the one telling you that he has a foundation. Why didn't he say that? That should be part of his records. So, I brought Sterling Bank, I employed also people, I did this. That's what he should be telling us. But he has not told us that. This is the time to sell himself, and those are the things he needs, because charity, the white man that taught us singing, they say charity begins where? At home. So you can't go and start charity abroad and then you want your people to clap for you. It's not possible. So what he's doing now is that because he has access to a lot of money, he's trying to buy the conscience of the people. But I tell you, Edo people are wiser. That will not.
There are people who blame the governor Obaseki for saying, I mean, they say he's the one bringing, quote unquote, bringing Ighodalo, is the godfather, political godfather of Ighodalo, and they feel uncomfortable with that because they feel it's an unfair advantage that the governor is giving to him, given that there are other people who were hitherto interested in the tickets of the PDP in the state and all of that. Is it realistic to expect that in Nigeria, as we know it today, in 2024, that an incumbent outgoing governor will not support somebody he finds anointed, as we say in Nigeria, or is it just a case of political expediency?
Well, the way we play politics here in this part of the world is quite different from normal way politics should be played. So
ours is abnormal?
Yes, it's really abnormal. I tell you, politics should be played based on, first, acceptability. Who do the people really like? Is this person accessible?
Popularity.
Is it that person who has a passion for the development and then the improvement of the livelihood of the people? that somebody who has a passion to make sure, because government is all about welfareism.
Right.
If you check our constitution, section 14, subsection 2b said the primary purpose, security and welfare of the people is the primary purpose of government. So every other thing, build road, build this, they are all secondary. The primary purpose. So government is all about welfareism. So if you cannot take care of the welfare of your people, then you don't have business in government. And I tell you, let me tell you, now the challenge Obaseki has is that you met people in a house. In 2020, it's like somebody that was under the rain. And people say, okay, you ran. They say, okay, come on. They gave you shelter. And you came in. Those same people, before Obaseki, the PDP already have a candidate, an anointed candidate, Honorable Ogbede Hama, who was supposed to fly the ticket of the PDP in that 2020 election against the Obaseki if he had remained in APC. And then you came. Some agreements were reached. Now you are leaving. Shouldn't it have been first refusal? Give him the option of first refusal to say, oh, do you still want to be governor? Or should we go back to that agreement? Let's have a frank talk. And if the guy says still...
Between who and who?
Between Obaseki and the legacy PDP he met. The Danobi, the Ogbede Hama, the man who was so popular. Ogbede Hama there was very popular. Now, if you discuss it, you say, no, I don't want to... okay, you say, but I have so person. You sell it to them, but can you be deputy to him or something? But those things were not done. You are just acting like an emperor. How do you intend to rule a state like that? You were the one that said you don't want Godfatherism. The Adams was playing God. Now you want to play God. You are bringing your godson, somebody who is not a real participant of the PDP.
Let's talk about the PDP for a second with regards to Obaseki's posture, as it were. I remember, I watched firsthand when Obaseki went to the secretariat of the PDP on First Secular Road in Benin to formally register with the party. On that day, he gave a very brief, unscripted speech, and he did tell them with emphasis and repetition that I read your constitution as a party the whole night before this morning, and that constitution tells me very clearly that on account of joining this party today, I've become the de facto leader of this party. They all agreed. In fact, the chairman of the party, Dr. Anthony Azegbemi, in the States, acquiesced by several nods to it. The video is still on YouTube.
Of course.
That's number one. Number two, we have heard the governor, either directly or in subtle presentation, say that he bought, quote and unquote, the ticket of the PDP. He paid for it, even though we know that Danobi and his team are now saying that the governor should come and provide evidence of what he paid, who he paid, so how much he paid. But that's not what we want to delve into now, because we can't independently substantiate that. However, the PDP, we also know, delayed its primaries in 2020 because it left the door open, because it was already very visible that Obaseki will eventually leave the APC. So can we not say the PDP got what he deserves?
I think they did. Honestly, they did, because for me then, it was like selling the party. Because even then, there were these rumors going around that Obaseki paid 6 billion for them to allow him and his deputy to be the ordinary. Yes, if they had allowed him and said, okay, we'll give you a deputy, that would have been, maybe they won't have this problem. But they allowed him and his deputy to come into the party and pick the 2 tickets. You understand? So he actually bought it. But people gave him that chance. You remember he even went to Rivers to lie down for Yeson Wike to come into, and he was one of those who made the coast clear for him to be the card carrying, to be the party flag bearer in that 2020 election. So I tell you, for me, it's like a betrayal of trust. As we speak, Obaseki has betrayed the trust of the PDP in Edo State. And that is what is going to work against him, because he has truly betrayed them. No matter what it is, you must remember that man who gave you shelter when the rain was, when you were under the rain. You must remember that man who fed you when you were hungry. You must remember that man when a gun was pointed at you that came to shield you with bulletproof and say, no, you can't kill this man, and saved your life. You must remember. But Obaseki
I want us to look beyond Obaseki and the PDP briefly. Let's look at leadership within political parties generally. We're seeing the Danobi factor in the PDP in Edo State. Even when he was the state chairman, or now that is the vice chairman south of the party. And then you go to the APC, for example, where you've had leadership tussle back and forth. At the point, it was a case of Oshomole, who is the de facto leader of the party in the state, now is senator, former 2-time governor, all right, saying, I want Dennis Idahosa, popularly called Denko, to be the candidate of the APC. And Isayamo, on the other hand, saying, no, I want someone else. And of course, that person has become Senator Monday Okpebolo as it stands right now. Whether or not there's still bad blood between Pastor Sage Isayamo and Senator Adams Oshomole or not is a conversation for a different day. But how that will shape the chances of the APC going into this election on September 21 is something that should be of concern to every right-thinking politician in the states. And then you go to the Labour Party, where you have Olomide Osagbovo Akpata. We also saw what happened between him and Riceman, Barrister Kenneth Imaswagbo, as to who becomes the flag bearer of the Labour Party in the states. How that even the former chairman of the party in the states, Dr. Kelly Ogbaloe, was dragged into the whole mud, as it were, and so on and so forth. Let's talk about leadership within political parties. They say democracy is expensive, but then you have a lot of money bags calling the shot within the party as against Democrats that should shape the present and the future of this party. How do we get it right with leadership within parties?
It's very simple.
Is it?
Yes, it is. It's just that, just shun greed. Shun greed. When you shun greed and selfish interest, things will be easy. But because most times, everybody wants to feel, I want to have it my way, and it must be my way. You know, there's no room to shift left or shift right. Democracy is about negotiations. Democracy is about dialogue. Democracy is about peaceful resolutions of issues without throwing a blow or throwing a slap or even shooting a gun. That's what democracy, that's the grand democracy law. That's why he said it's participatory governance of the majority. You understand? That's why you have this popular say that the minority will always have their say, but majority will have their way. So democracy is about the majority. And if majority say this is where we want to go, that should be the area. But you see, most times in political parties, only few leaders decide where to go. Even when the general populace are saying, no, membership and say this is where we are going, they want to coerce with money and with power and with force to coerce the people to follow their way. And that is why we keep having problems. Internal democracy. I tell you, let me tell you, if you, like the case of Adams and the APC you cited about when they wanted to, because let me tell you, the one thing people should understand, in every primary elections, party members must be divided because they have divergent interests. I might have reasons to want you to be my candidate. And then Mr. B might have reason why he wants that lady to be his candidate. But the Constitution says, after all that struggle within the party, whoever emerges, every structure should collapse and support that person. And I tell you today, in the APC, what we are seeing, they have closed ranks. Adams, that was on the other side, is not following Senator Monday Okpebolo, the same Isayamo and Dennis, they are from the same senatorial zone. They are now working together. It's like they have been able to unite themselves after the primary to say, look, we have a goal. Let's focus on that goal. And the goal is to get to Osadebe Avenue. And we are getting there, September 21st. And so they have put themselves together. You have not heard anything even from the people. Oh, they are not organized, they are fighting. No, what they say, oh, he's not competent, he's this, he's that. You know, they are flying all sorts of, credentials. So, oh, capitalism, oh, we need a technocrat. We have tried Obaseki as a technocrat. How has he been able to manage the resources of Edo State for the benefit of the people of Edo State? As you see, are you not aware that some days ago, last week, flooding killed a 9-year-old boy in Benin? Now,
very sad issue.
Very sad. It means that the erosion problem we have in Edo State has not been solved. When Adams was governor, there was this project, stormwater project, that he almost arrested, within the Benin metropolis, arrested the flooding in the state. But today, those plans have been distorted, and so we are having flooding.
But Obaseki has also accused...
let me learn. You're also aware that even the INEC office was ravaged with flood. Today, about 4,000 beavers machines have been destroyed in Edo State. Yes. So today, if they have arrested those, would INEC office be? That is another cost on government. You understand? So in terms of accusation or counter-accusation, we are talking. You are in government now. We are talking about you. What we are talking is present, not past. You are in government. Arrest the situation. You are unable to arrest.
But he said that his efforts at arresting the situation have also been hampered because, according to him, Comrade Adams Oshomola, the former governor, his immediate predecessor, in collaboration with former Commissioner for Environment and Public Utilities, Prince Clem Agba, had misappropriated some part of the funds meant for the stormwater project you mentioned a while ago. So he probably picked up the project in a bad place.
What is governance? Government is continuum.
So can we not hold people accountable for what they've done?
Of course. He is there. He is the governor. He can hold people accountable. Who is stopping him? Has he ever charged them to court to say, okay, come and... He has not. So why is he saying it now? Because it's election time? No. If he has found out something was wrong, then he should have taken the appropriate action. So that should be for him to explain to Nigeria why he did not take action when he found out that monies were misappropriated by the former administration, who he was also part of. Which he was also part of. Then if he didn't take action, so who's to blame? We should blame him. He is in power now. Now, if that has failed, what has he done? How much has he committed to bringing that project to fruition so that Edo people will enjoy a floodless season when it's raining? People shouldn't be hyper or shouldn't be having hypertension when rainy season is coming. We shouldn't be having that in a state like Edo. No. The governor should take charge.
It is 4 years since 2020 when Shaibu and Obaseki teamed up and won election in that state. Going into this 2024 gubernatorial election in the state, because obviously it's an off-grid election,
yes.
And you hear people say things like federal might. What do you see differently with this one?
What we see differently now in Edo State is like the people of Edo are resolved and are resolute. They have seen Obaseki. You know, it is when you have the past that you can actually compare with the present. They saw Adams 8 years. They have equally seen Obaseki 7 years plus now going away. And they now have reason to compare by sector by sector. What did Adams do when Adams was governor? What is Obaseki doing when he is governor? How much is the people feeling the part of governance in Edo State? And I tell you, the conclusion is simple. Edo people are resolute. And they are saying, no, first, this man deceived us. It's like deceit in 2022. Oh, Adams want to be, no man is God, this, that. We cannot allow, if we allow him, Adams will become a godfather. He will be the one to control. One day he will drive this. Today, people are now aware. It's the same you. What you were complaining of is what we are doing. You single-handedly bring the governor, single-handedly also brought the deputy governorship candidate. You brought both of them against the wishes of majority of your party members. That's what we're having. So if you look at, there's a referendum going on the 21st of September 2024. There'll be a referendum. And that referendum is to say, no, Obaseki, you cannot be godfather. Because we didn't allow Adams to be godfather. We will not also allow you to be godfather. You cannot bring your godson as the governor of Edo State because you have not also done well. You didn't do well. If you have done well, then you have reason to say, okay, this man would continue from where I stopped. So he didn't do well. So there will be a referendum on the 21st of September.
So you don't see the federal might factor playing out?
Whether the federal might, you see, during campaign, everybody will campaign with what he has as an advantage.
Including federal might.
You say, I have federal, even though the federal might not be supporting you, but you use it to rate. It's like when you have a brother who's a giant, it's in your house, but it's even abroad, it's not around. When someone wants to say, I will tell my brother, that person will, your brother is not even there, but you use it to intimidate. But that does not mean when the fight starts. Before he comes from America, the fight is over. Yeah. So that is just what is happening. If you say, of course, they have state might. The governor is in charge of everything in the state, including security, for now. You understand?
But he says he's not the chief security officer in practice because they still have to report to Abuja.
Don't worry. But it's the same him. He can use police to say arrest that, and they'll go arrest the person. Yes, he has power. The power is limited, but they have power. They have influence over their commissioner. And I tell you, moving into this election, a lot of people are agitating, and I join my voices, that the federal government should even change the security architecture before the election in Edo State.
But government has always done that. They've always reshuffled commissioners and all of that.
Sometimes they don't, or they still bring the person that you want for you. You understand? So this time around, they should reshuffle it so that people that will be there will be people who will be neutral and unbiased. I tell you, even if today PDP as well as the candidate, they go into the election, they can't win the election because they are a house divided against themselves. And a house divided against itself can never stand. That's what we are.
I asked you that last question because if you remember 2020, of course, I'm sure you do remember clearly, we didn't have, I mean, the Labour Party was largely, I mean, forgive me, inconsequential in that election.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, there was no obedient movement as we now know it. Don't you think these elements will shape this 24 election?
Of course it will. I tell you why it will shape the elections. You see, anybody that say, oh, let me undermine Labour Party, you do that at your own peril.
Right.
I tell you. But the great mistake, one of the mistakes they have made in this election.
That's the Labour Party?
Yes, is that Edo people are resolved and resolute that the next governor should come from Edo Central for balancing. Because Edo not had 8 years and almost 7 years plus as deputy governor. Edo South is having 8 years. You understand? And Edo North is completed even the deputy governorship election. Ordinarily, you cannot marginalize the senatorial district for this too long. You understand? So the people are resolved that we want an Edo Central man to be the governor of Edo State. And then you see the emergence of Labour Party, I itself, Apata, is an advantage to the APC. You know why? The city governor is from Edo South. Now he is the governor. He is the candidate. The candidate of the PDP of the Labour Party is from Edo South. The two deputy governorship candidates of the APC and the PDP are from Edo South. So Edo South is they are going to pieces the vote in Edo South. And let me tell you, the senatorial district that will decide the winner of this election is Edo North.
Because of number?
Yes. Edo South has the highest number of voters in Edo State. But they are going to pieces that election because of the gladiators scrambling for that election. And then Edo Central, hands down, Senator Monday Okpebholo is going to beat Aswa Ighodalo because Aswa Ighodalo is a stranger to Edo Central, honestly. And let me tell you, one thing people don't understand. You see, Senator Monday Okpebholo, he was a disciple of the late Chief Tony Adeni, our political godfather of Edo State. He went through his tutorship. He worked with him all through that time. He was minister, he was national chairman of party, he was BOT chairman. He worked with him all through. And so he's a man that was tutored and he knows, because any policy is that grassroots must be empowered. He touched every part. And that was why since 1999, even when Adam came with those strong force, APC has never been able to win the senator in Edo Central. It's all PDP. This is the first time an APC person is winning. And that is because of the affinity he has with Aneni and getting from him all the tricks, the template to always take care of your people. And he was taking care of his people. And that is why he defeated a city senator to become the senator of. This is the first time APC is producing a senator from Edo Central since 1999. That tells you how far. These are the same people that is going to vote. And you think that this man will not have the vote. He will have the vote. And Edo Central, let me tell you, whether anybody likes it or not, 80% of Edo North is APC.
I need to talk to you about something, or maybe we should pretend about it. Money. Money always plays a part in our election, especially on election day itself. We've heard a term like financial inducements. Does it bother you that could also be one of the factors shaping this coming election?
Yeah, you cannot take away that. You know, that's why there's this slogan everywhere: vote buying, vote buying, vote buying. And I tell you, it has even got it to the point that it is the voters that want money. Even if you don't go to, they even go around to scout for who will give them money. That's how bad it is. But it's an unfortunate incident. But I tell you that Edo people are so wise now. They can collect your money and yet refuse to vote for you. They know that ASWA is a money bag. They know that Godwin Obaseki has the state resources, the state treasury in his beck and call. Yes, money will go around. Yes, of course. But I tell you, Edo people are ready to collect your money and to go out for that referendum. There is no saving face for Obaseki in this election. He is gone, and his godson is gone. I must assure you that. That is the resolve of the people of Edo State.
And I hope we'll learn that lesson and learn it very well, particularly as it has to do with leadership within political parties. Because if we continue to have political parties that are troubled and conflicted on a constant basis internally, then it means democracy in Nigeria ultimately is being threatened. I'd like to say a big thank you to you, Abdul Wahab Kekide, public affairs analyst, for sharing all of these very important insights with us on the program this morning. The election is still a couple of weeks away. Hopefully you and I will get to have a sit down again. We're taking a break, everyone, again. When we return, Queen Agaba and I will wrap up the program for you. Do stay with us.
Are you a food lover? Do you care about your health and nutrition? Are you interested in exploring the diverse culinary traditions from around the world? Then look no further. Introducing Lunch Global on Global Television, a show that takes you on a delicious journey through the world of food, nutrition, and diet. So, whether you're a seasoned foodie, a health enthusiast, or simply curious about the world of food, Lunch Global has something for everyone. Tune in Mondays to Fridays and let your taste bud take you on a journey of flavor, culture, and discovery on Lunch Global. Bon appetit!
Time check. It's midday. Then it's Midday Discourse. Midday Discourse is a program that covers trending local and international news, current issues, and human-related topics. Join Samuel Odi weekdays 1 p.m. on Global Television. The discussion starts here.
It's time for sports' biggest moments on Global Television. The headlines, scores, breaking news, and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses, and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns, and victories. Talk sports with the king of sports, Anthony Momodu. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out. Hello,